MUFON have just released some UFO information regarding UAP materials that they have been testing on, and this is enormous. At the 2024 MUFON Symposium held on July 11th through to 14th in Irving, Texas, the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, otherwise known as MUFON, if you're me, unveiled significant findings related to their unidentified aerial phenomenal materials. One of the highlights of the symposium was that the presentation of a UAP material case received from Russia, which is being described as MUFON's most important UAP-related presentation to date. The materials, which are delivered to a Russian UFO investigator, underwent extensive testing at Russian laboratories and were later corroborated by MUFON's US lab. These tests revealed that about 90% of the sample consisted of unknown materials with components of isotopic ratios that did not match anything currently known to science. This suggests that the materials could have extraterrestrial origin. Additionally, some of the samples sent for further testing were mysteriously stolen from a locked-up US office box shortly after arriving. This theft, combined with the evidence of tampered security cameras, suggests that materials might have been deliberately targeted to prevent further analysis. MUFON's media Relations Director Ron James emphasized the potential impact of the findings, which include physical materials and other evidence of non-human technology. The symposium aimed to advance the scientific understanding of UAPs and promote transparency in UFO research. So obviously, when you buddy all of this stuff up, it's huge. It's unfathomable to think that, Russia have tested this stuff. It got sent over to the US to be further tested, to corroborate, to, back up the findings, all for it to then suddenly be stolen and then just, potentially be targeted to avoid further examination. So we're going to take another look at another article here from anomalien.com. So MUFON to unveil astonishing UAP material test results at symposium. In what's being called the most important UAP-related presentation MUFON has ever made, the Mutual UFO Network, otherwise known as MUFON, will reveal details about the UAP materials it is currently received from Russia in an exclusive live event on Saturday, July 13th, 2024 at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The case will be presented in both person and via live stream at MUFON's annual symposium, revealing the story behind the mysterious materials delivered at the home of the Russia UFO investigator with the evidence of a cover-up. Tests by Russian labs, later corroborated by MUFON's own US lab, confirmed that the material is of unknown origin. While virtually any material can be identified by its component from the periodic table, unknown combinations of isotopic ratios can often point to mysterious origins of samples. In this case, 90% of the sample of materials that the lab were unable to identify. That means we could only identify 10% of this material, and we could only match it to 10% of our periodic table. Oh no, our periodic table can only identify 10%. This is huge. This is huge. The story becomes even more compelling when some of the samples sent for additional testing were stolen from a US office box shortly after they arrived from the retrieval by MUFON's investigator Robert Spearing. On top of this, cameras were turned against the wall inhibiting investigation, although postal workers testify that they delivered the box. This is typical with evidence of this nature. We believe that the material was deliberately taken by someone who could hack into the locked post office box to prevent further testing. Who did it is anybody's guess, stated MUFON's Media Relations Director Ron James. The evidence that supports this story and others that we will be sharing at the symposium could make it the biggest UFO-related news event of the year. We have physical materials and more evidence of non-human technology, said James. MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is the largest and oldest civilian UFO research organization in the world, dedicated to the scientific study of UFOs to the benefit of humanity. MUFON is a worldwide network like-minded people who care about UFO/UAPs. We provide the community and resources to the field and are honored to be making a presentation that may move the ball forward, James concluded. The annual MUFON International Symposium in Irving, Texas. Sign up to attend the event, or via live stream. And then if you take a little look here, basically you do have to sign up to be able to get hands-on that investigation and on that stuff. which of course I do not have. But this also goes a bit further when I found this, which also goes a bit into a little bit more detail regarding this over on Rumble. So let's take a little look at this video as well.
Reveal astonishing UAP material test results at its symposium coming in July. Very interesting story here, provided by PR Newswire. This comes from their YouTube page. Mutual UFO Network is an all-volunteer, non-profit 501c3 charitable corporation and the world's oldest and largest civilian UFO investigation and research organization. They have a symposium coming 2024, MUFON International Symposium, the Battle for UFO Transparency, July 11th through the 14th in Irving, Texas, and they have a huge announcement, supposedly. Interesting story. Thanks for being here.
Now, of course, this is pretty huge, right? To think that we've got UFO sample, or alleged UFO sample, backed up by the fact, you know, you could say, well, it could be a sample of anything. Well, that's great. But if it was of Earth, our periodic table would be able to identify 100% of the compound. But it can't. It can only identify 10%. 90% of it was, you know, bleh. No one knows. The periodic table is just like, what the fuck have you just shown me right here? Because I don't know what any of this is. Our periodic table is made up of all the components, all the gases, all the solids, and all the liquids that, you know, on Earth we use for compounds, right? And this thing's just like, nah. Computer doesn't registrate. It's crazy.
Chris Lado, welcome to Lado Files. Okay, super interesting. And what is being called the most important UAP-related presentation MUFON has ever made. That is a pretty bold statement. MUFON's been around since 1969. It's the oldest and largest UFO organization, what they deem themselves. Chris Mellon said there was over 200,000 reports to MUFON. I talked to Robert Powell. He actually worked for MUFON investigating. So that is a pretty bold statement. The most important UAP-related presentation they've ever made. Amazing.
That could just be, again, to drum up the subscriptions that they're saying that. But obviously, when you put into context the information that they truly did share, it is pretty huge, right?
So the Mutual UFO Network will reveal details about a UAP materials case it recently received from Russia in an exclusive live event on Saturday, July 13th, 2024 at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So they will live stream it. Super exciting. The case will be presented both in person and via live stream at MUFON's annual symposium, revealing the story behind mysterious materials delivered to the home of a Russian UFO investigator with evidence of a cover-up. And they have evidence of the cover-up.
Now, this is pretty cool as well. The fact that this just appeared at this Russian dude's door. Like, literally someone just was like, oh, found this, by the way. Have a little look. He had a look at it. Literally couldn't work it out. And he was just like, look, I found something that can't be worked out. MUFON over in the US were like, let's have a look at it. Took it. Oh, it's been stolen. Oh, the cameras have been turned off. Oh, the workers don't know anything. This is too fishy, man. Way too fishy.
Just on their own. Tests by Russian labs, later corroborated by MUFON's own U.S. lab, confirmed the material is of unknown origin. Unknown origin. So unknown origin, I guess, meaning that the manufacturing process is not understood, like how it could be created.
Yeah.
You can usually tell by the isotopic ratios, what's actually in the material, where it was manufactured, and for what purpose.
And we also have just found out they could only identify 10% of its makeup.
See, while virtually any material can be identified by its components from the periodic table, unknown combinations or isotopic ratios can often point to a mysterious origin of samples. In this case, 90% of the sample is made of materials that labs were unable to identify.
Like, this is massive. This is literally huge. Like, how is it that this has gone on and it's just slipped under everyone's radar? Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't really seen anyone talking about this. Have you? I haven't. Like, I feel like I'm pretty in the know. I like to keep myself in the loop with everything that's going on. But this, I didn't see anything about it. So, what do you guys think on this whole situation? Obviously, like I say, I can't get access to it because I don't pay a subscription to MUFON, so I wasn't able to actually see what they said, but, you know, in black and white, the information's all there anyway. You know, the whole isotopics and the ratios and the makeup and not being understood, and then the whole, like, cover-up. Who's trying to steal it? Government? People in the FBI? I don't know, like Men in Black? Who's trying to steal it? Who's trying to stop this research from moving forwards? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. It's very, very fishy. Like I said before, I really want to hear what you guys have to say on this. But if you have gone on to find this video informative, scare the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.